Hello! Welcome to our beginner 30-day yoga challenge. I'm so looking forward to starting this challenge with you. I am a yoga teacher. I started teaching yoga 1.5 years ago, and my journey started years ago. My practice was not my highest priority in life, but I definitely cared about my yoga practice. And throughout the past years of doing ballet, working out in different ways, I found yoga to be my sweet spot. If that resonates with you, you know what I'm talking about. But just not too intense, not someone yelling at you. It's just relaxing and calming, but you get a good stretch, you get a good workout still, and you're able to just kind of get all those elements in at the same time while still just in a state of relaxation. So as we go throughout this 30-day beginner yoga challenge, I am going to be just guiding it for you and going through it with you, because as a yoga teacher, I just needed a little bit of a reset. 2021, I wasn't necessarily teaching yoga all the time, if at all. So I needed to just kind of start at the basics and go from there. And if you're a yoga teacher wanting to go back to the basics, just remember what matters. Or if you are a beginner and you're starting for the very first time, this is your very first ever yoga class, wherever you are on that spectrum, you are so very welcome in this place. As we go about this challenge, my hope is that you enjoy it and that you feel encouraged and motivated and excited to start the year off with movement and with purposeful movement. Hope you thoroughly enjoy this challenge. If you want to be notified when each new episode comes out, just subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that's how you'll know. All right, peace. Hello, welcome to Friday and Saturday's yoga class. We're going to begin today, the first day of January, with a pretty fun flow. The flow is designed to start creating openness in your body. And as you begin to open up your chest, your hips, your arms, your shoulders, that will prepare us for the rest of this month so that our bodies and our hearts can be open to whatever this year holds. All right, to begin, let's start in child's pose. So you'll come to the back of your mat, bring your toes behind you, bring your bum all the way back to your toes, and you'll start to walk your hands out to the front of your mat. Know that you can either start with a wide-legged child's pose, where your knees will be at the edges of your mat, or if that feels uncomfortable, bring your knees closer in. Like I said, walk your hands out towards the top of your mat. You can bring your hands as far as you want, or closer if that feels more comfortable. And bring your head all the way down to your mat. I typically prefer a wide-legged child's pose because that starts to open up my hips. But wherever you feel the comfort, begin with that today. Take a deep inhale here. Slowly exhale. Inhale here, and exhale. One more deep inhale, audible exhale. All right, start to walk your hands back to a tabletop. You'll bring your shoulders over your wrist and your hips over your knees. And we'll just start with the cat-cow here. This is a great way to bring movement to your spine to begin class with, and to just warm up your body. Inhale, drop your belly down. Point your head up to the sky. Exhale, round your spine. Look down to your belly. A couple more times. Inhale. Bring your belly down. Exhale. Look back at your belly. One more time. Inhale. You can take these as deeply or not as deep as you would like. Whatever feels best to you. Let's come back to the center. Let's go to an extended puppy pose. So you'll bring your hands down, kind of like a child's pose, but you'll keep this posture in your lower body. So let's come down to a puppy pose. Bring your shoulders as far as you would like down to your mat. Place your forehead on the mat. Don't push it here with your shoulders. If it feels better, bring them farther out if that feels more comfortable, or bring them closer in and extend them more. Like I said, move to what your body is capable of doing and what your body feels comfortable doing. Inhale here. Exhale. One more inhale. Exhale. We're starting to open up our shoulders here. All right, start to walk your hands back to a tabletop, and then we're going to transition into downward facing dog. Bring your toes to the mat, and then slowly bring your butt all the way up to the sky. Start to walk out your downward dog. This might be your first downward dog in months or your first downward dog ever. Either way, begin to walk it out. You can deeply walk it out or just kind of wiggle out your heels, whatever feels comfortable. But once you bring some movement to your hamstrings, you'll want to push your butt all the way back as far as possible. And you want to kind of lift from your chest, if that makes sense. When you lift from your chest, make sure you're not putting all your weight in your elbows or your arms. It's supposed to be equal weight here from your palms all the way to your heels. Lift back. And as you can see, my heels don't fully touch the ground here in downward facing dog. And that's okay. If your heels are all the way up here, if your knees are bent, whatever feels comfortable to you, and that's what works. There's so many variations in yoga, and that's what makes it so much fun and so inclusive to all who would like to practice. All right, now we're going to move into a forward fold. So start to walk your feet to your hands. Slowly. Grab hold of your arms. We're going to go into ragdoll pose. Grab hold of your elbows. Make sure your feet are hip width distance apart here. And slowly melt into this ragdoll pose. You'll want your upper back to just kind of hang heavy. Hang your shoulders and your head heavy. You might shake your head yes or no. Just make sure there's no tenseness going on here in this pose. We're supposed to fully relax our upper body. And again, like I said, if you need to bend your knees in this pose, please do. It's meant to have your knees bent in this pose. Or if it feels more comfortable to have a deep bend or a little bend, just try either of those out and see what fits for you. All right, we're going to come up in a halfway lift. Bring your palms to your knees. Now just straighten out your leg in this pose and straighten out your back. Your back is as straight as possible. Your hips are as close over your heels as you possibly can be. You're looking straight ahead. And then forward fold Again. And let's go into mountain pose. Slowly come all the way to the top of your mat to standing. When you get here, let's do a deep shoulder shrug. That felt good. We're going to go into mountain pose here. You won't be able to see my arms because it's going to cut them off, but inhale, mountain pose. Bring your shoulders down your back. And let's go into cactus arms here. So you'll want to bring your arms, like your arms will be like this in mountain pose. And inhale here. And then exhale, cactus arms is just like this. Kind of bring them out, your shoulders out like so. And then you'll feel your chest kind of expanding. So push your hips forward in this pose and push your chest forward and look up to the sky. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, mountain pose. Exhale, cactus. All right, let's go back to mountain pose. And then we're going to go into forward fold. Bring your hands down to heart center. Fold your body down to the mat. Bring your hands to the mat. Bring your feet back hip width distance apart. And you'll find yourself in a plank. Bring your hips down. Shoulders on top of your wrist. And either shift forward, bend your elbows like you're going into a mini push-up. And then flip your toes. Inhale. Upward facing dog. Or if that feels uncomfortable, if you're not ready to do an upward facing dog, you can come from plank all the way down to your mat. Inhale here, untuck your toes. Inhale. Cobra. Bring your hands off your mat slightly and bring an arch in your back, similarly to upward facing dog. Exhale, come back down. And then you can go straight into downward facing dog from there. From downward facing dog, we're going to bring our right foot up to the sky. And if your leg goes up high, or if it goes up here, that's totally fine. Don't force it as high as possible. This is where my leg naturally goes right now. So wherever your leg naturally goes, that's great. Inhale here. Exhale, bring your knee up to your chest and then place it between your two hands. If your knee does not come all the way there and it's right here, that's okay. You can use your hand to kind of bring it up between your two hands, or start here, lift up from here, and then adjust when you're standing. So from here, we're going to go into warrior 2. Bring your arms out to the sides of you. Place your left foot down on the mat. It's going to be parallel. And what I want you to do with your foot is kind of think of it as a knife. And it's creating this like resistance in your body. You'll want to bring your right knee right on top of your ankle here, and then your arms out beside you, like the warrior that you are. Look ahead to the right. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, let's go into reverse warrior. So you'll switch your right palm up to the sky, bring it all the way back, go into a side stretch here. Place your left hand either on your thigh or here, or you can even put it behind you. We'll do one deep breath here. Exhale, bring your hands back to warrior 1, and then we're gonna go all the way down, to warrior 2, and then we'll go all the way down to the mat. While we're here, we'll find ourselves in this lunge position. You're going to move your right foot over a couple inches and bring both of your hands on the inside of your right foot. And then you'll find yourself in lizard lunge. So In lizard lunge, you can either stay here if this feels good to you, or you can bring your left leg all the way down to the mat. This feels a little bit of a deeper stretch here for me, so I'm gonna go into placing my leg on the ground. And to feel it in your hip, you're going to want to kind of bring your hips down. Let's do one deep breath here. Exhale. Bring your leg back up to that lunge if it wasn't already. And then we're gonna go into a plank. And you guessed it, chaturanga. Inhale, half push up, upward facing dog. Look up to the sky. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, I'm a little bit more loose now. The more we do this, we'll get looser and looser, and it'll just continue to feel so good. So let's do the other side. Left leg up to the sky. Bring your left knee up to your chest. Place it between your hands. Inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, warrior two. As you're here in warrior two, make sure to check in with yourself. Is your knee over your ankle? Is your right foot in that knife position? And last step, are you looking forward? Inhale here. Exhale. Another inhale. Come into exhale, come into reverse warrior. Come back down to your mat. Bring your left foot over a couple inches and your hands on the inside of your left foot. Let's go into lizard lunge. Bring your leg down to the mat or keep it up. One breath here. All right, back to a plank. Inhale. Exhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. All right, let's come down to sitting on your mat. And you can either face just whatever way is comfortable, but you'll want to bring your feet together. And this is called bound ankle pose, or it's also known as a butterfly pose. So in this pose, you'll either have 2 or 3 things going on. You'll have your knees all the way to the ground. And that's when you know for sure that you probably were an athlete or a ballerina in your past life. Because that's a very common stretch. But if your knees are up here, that is completely normal and totally fine. So if your knees are up here, just keep them up there and slowly over time, try to, as you're breathing, bring them down as much as feels comfortable. Or you can grab 2 little pillows and put them underneath your legs here if that feels good. So since I feel comfortable with my legs all the way down, and if you're in the same position, just bring your chest slightly over your feet, but make sure your tailbone is still completely glued to the mat. Inhale here. Exhale. All right, we're going to do head to knee pose. So you'll bring your feet out in front of you and bring any extra flesh out from under you so that you're really sitting down strong. Inhale here. And as you exhale, just bend over your legs. You can bring your hands to your feet if your hands can touch there. You can bring your hands to your calves or to your thighs or to the mat. There is not a particular rule in this. The biggest thing here is to either choose to keep your spine straight and collapse down that way, or round your spine and collapse down that way, instead of going back and forth between the two. So I'm going to keep a straight spine because I find that that's the deepest stretch for me. Just gonna inhale a couple times, or we're gonna breathe here for a couple moments. All right, come back all the way up and come back all the way up, and we're going to go into a laying position. So slowly bring your head all the way down to your mat. Feels good to lay down. Bring your feet up and bring them as close to your bum as possible, but just keep a few inches between them. And then you'll bring your hips up. Inhale. Going to go into bridge pose. We're going to stay here for a couple moments. So inhale here. Exhale. Bring your hands together underneath you if you can. And we're going to create this bind between our hands that will push your hips up even more. Inhale here. And you can melt down to the mat. We're going to go into supine twist now. Bring your right knee into your chest and your left foot out straight in front of you. Inhale here. Bring your knee into your right armpit a little bit. Exhale. Bring your knee across your leg or your whole body. And you'll bring it all the way as far as it feels comfortable. You can move your hips over slightly. That's what I like to do. So I'm still in this straight line here. Bring your right arm all the way out, or you can make cactus arms here. And you'll bring your left arm out as well. Let your foot rest down if it can. And then you'll gaze off to your right. Inhale here. In this pose, just make sure to keep your foot flexed, and so that you protect your knees. Inhale. Exhale here. Another inhale. Exhale. Bring your knee back into center. Place it down onto the mat. Bring your left knee up into your chest. Grab a hold of it. Inhale, bring it close to your left armpit. Exhale, bring your knee across. And let's do the other side. Again, I always move my hips here if you need to bring your leg across you, but still keep the same position in your body where your body is straight and twisting. Bring your arms out beside you. Gaze off to the left. Inhale here. Exhale. Bring your knees, both of them this time, into your chest. Bring your hips back to center. Grab on hold of them. If you can't grab, if your knees are out here, that's totally fine. Just try to make sure that your low back is glued to the ground as much as possible. Bring your knees in where it feels comfortable. Inhale here. And let's bring our forehead all the way to our knees if possible. If not, just bring your neck up a little bit. Exhale, collapse into Shavasana, the best part of class. Bring your feet out wide to the edges of your mat. Bring your palms facing up. Kind of wiggle your shoulder blades to make sure they're down and relax as much as possible. Make sure your back is relaxed, your lower back, your upper back. And let's just go through a full body scan. Starting from your toes all the way to the top of your head. Deeply breathe into the places that you feel pain or discomfort. And then move on to the next part of your body. In the last couple seconds of Shavasana, I want you to think of 5 things that you are so grateful for today. Start to bring movement back to our toes or fingertips, our arms. Maybe move side to side. Let's do a bit of a good morning stretch, a long pencil stretch if you have the capacity to. And then roll over to one side, slowly but surely. And come to an easy seated position. And this was your first start, the beginning of this January challenge. You did amazing. Give yourself a huge round of applause for taking the time out of your day to prioritize your yoga practice and to prioritize moving your body and just taking care of the vessel that you live in. So as you go about the rest of your day, I hope you think of those things that came to mind that you're grateful for. And remember to repeat this yoga class for Saturday the 2nd as well. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me on this challenge. I'm so excited as to where we'll go and how flexible we're gonna get and how strong we're gonna get. And thank you for joining. Have a great day.